Man, what's up, everybody? This is Life,
What it do, y'all? It's your boy, Young Swallow.
and this is Just Do the Damn Thing podcast.
Do the damn thing, do the damn thing, yeah. Do the damn thing, do the damn thing, yeah. Do the damn thing, do my damn thing. I'ma do my damn thing. I'ma do my damn thing.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Just Do the Damn Thing podcast. I think we are on episode 68.
68 it should be. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Last week we did a situation where we had a guest again. It was an awesome thing.
Yeah, it was nice to have a guest in here,
was
man.
it
It's been a minute.
Sasha?
Sasha Wrist.
Yeah, Sasha Wrist.
Because she writes.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Well, Suelo, what we got going on for today, mate?
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for tapping back in for another episode, of course. Today's question is very philosophical, makes you reflect within. Today's question is, what is the difference between living and being alive?
Yes, sir. You want to take this one? I think
Yeah,
I went
yeah.
First last time.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah. Yep. I think it's on me. So, we literally had to look this up, off air before we started the show. We had to look up the definitions because I was like, I think they literally mean the same
Same
thing,
exact thing.
right? And not necessarily. So we looked it up, and so I'll start with alive. We all know what alive means, right? Being alive, literal, breathing, your heart's pumping, you got blood flowing through your body, you got consciousness, like you're literally alive.
Alive, exactly.
You know, and then living kind of went with like the definition that I kind of thought it was like being able to have a certain lifestyle that you choose.
Exactly.
You know? So you're living that lifestyle.
Exactly.
You know, so I'll go off of that. And, you know, a lot of people that are alive aren't living the life that they want to live.
Facts.
I would say the majority of people alive aren't living.
Huge majority.
Yeah,
I would say like 98%.
yeah, like
easily.
up there. Like most people are not living the lifestyle that they want to live. And that's many different factors go into that, right? It's not only, you know, the economy and the government and laws and regulations. Like that's a big part of it, like for sure, you know, but a lot of things are the result of people's choices. You know, like what choices does somebody make in their lives? Like, are you actually, are you actually making the effort to build that lifestyle that you want to live, you know?
Exactly.
Or are you just literally, you know, if you have a job, you know, you're literally just going to a job, clocking in, clocking out, going home, watching TV, shower, go to sleep, do it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
that, you know, I guess in a sense you could say that's a kind of lifestyle in its own way, but is that the lifestyle that you actually want to live, you know? So what I've learned in this life is nothing comes easy. If you want to live a certain lifestyle or you want certain things, it's going to be a lot of damn work to get it.
Yeah,
You know, 100%. You're going to have to bust your ass. You're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to make the right choices. If you make the wrong choices, you learn from that. You get better and you come back again. But yeah, anything worth having doesn't come easy. And I think that's why a lot of people don't put the effort to try to attain the true lifestyle that they want because they don't want to put the effort.
Yeah, too many people want something without working for it, and I think that's the biggest problem we have in our society. Is
Yeah,
that,
100%.
Is that, you know, if I want to become a doctor, I have to go to school to become that. I can't just sit on my couch and say that I'm going to speak this into existence.
Yeah.
And believe that I'm just going to become a doctor.
Somehow next week you're going to
I'm
get a
just
doctorate.
man, like
just
I'm
going to manifest on your lap for...
And literally, we just looked up the word manifest.
manifest, exactly.
And that does not mean that.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that at all.
No, to manifest something means to demonstrate.
Just to show. Yeah.
Something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy how people say speak something into existence, but you can't speak it without doing the work behind what that is you need to do. So what I always tell people is that if they want something in life, they need to learn how to obtain that. They need to learn what path do they have to take to obtain that type of lifestyle, like you said about living. Like if you're wanting a certain lifestyle, what does it take to live that lifestyle? There has to be some sort of action to create that lifestyle. It doesn't just, you can't just sit on your couch and say, I'm living a lifestyle of this when everybody else that's living that lifestyle is actually doing something else. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. It's just not gonna happen. Like in the example, like you said with the doctor, like you just can't sit on your couch and maybe you're watching Scrubs. You're binge watching Scrubs
Grey's
and
Anatomy.
like, right? Oh, I'm a doctor now. Let me go apply for a job as a doctor. You got no schooling, no education, no degrees, no experience, but you somehow think you should be a doctor now. It doesn't make any sense.
Man, we have a lot of YouTube doctors out there that believe they know what they're talking about.
Oh man,
but really haven't read anything. They just saw something, retain some of that information, and then say it to somebody else without fact checking it, without doing any type of research,
or even trying it for yourself.
It's like, have you ever done open heart surgery? Like, no,
no. But if you do this, you cut it right there. It'll work. I promise.
No experience whatsoever.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So, if you want to live a certain lifestyle, it's gonna take work. It's not just gonna. You're not just gonna speak it into existence. I think we've all come to understand, what it really takes to make something happen. And I feel like in this day and age, that term "speaking into existence" is just like overplayed.
It should have never came into existence.
Right. It shouldn't have. Like, I don't know who. Right.
I get what people are trying to say.
Yeah.
But if you're going to say something, words have meaning. So when you're saying something, you need to understand what you're saying and what it means when you're saying those things. So if you're saying speak into existence, I get that you want something, but yeah, you can speak it. You can say, you know what, I want to be a doctor. But right after you say that, you need an action to become a doctor. You can't just say, I'm going to speak it to existence, but not do anything to try to become what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That just doesn't go.
Exactly. It just doesn't make sense. And I think that's kind of discouraging as well to a lot of younger people, especially because it's more like a common thing. It's like trendy now to say, oh, speak it into existence, like whatever. Even my favorite rapper, Nipsey Hussle, spoke some things into the universe and they appeared. It's like, I feel like he can say it because it followed with action. He did things to make it happen.
But that's the thing that people leave out.
Yeah. And that's what, or some people just choose to ignore. Know what I mean?
That too.
They're like, oh, I'm just going to speak it to existence. I'm going to make it happen. Yeah, you go, girl. You do it. You know what I mean? And it's like,
it feels good.
Yeah, it does. You're hyped up. You're motivated for that little space in time. And, it doesn't follow up with any action. So don't be surprised if you're not living the lifestyle that you want.
Exactly. Because everything, like you said earlier, boils down to decision making. Like, just like, for instance, if you're living a lifestyle that's above what you're making. So people try to...
Like trying to flex.
They try to flex without flexing type money.
Right, yeah.
Why are you flexing? Nobody cares about your money. Nobody cares.
Literally.
You shouldn't care at all either. Anybody that pocket watches you is stupid. I'm sorry.
And you shouldn't want them in your life anyway. You shouldn't
want them in your life if they're sitting in their pocket watching you and calling you names just because you don't have the nicest Bentley or you don't have, even if you don't have a Toyota Camry, who cares?
Or if somebody blindly believes your flexes, you don't want that person in your life either because it's not going to go well because once they found out that you're not living that life.
Exactly. You don't want to surround yourself with yes men. That's for sure.
100%.
You want to actually live humbly and live and know where you stand. You know how much you're making, so you know exactly how you're going to be living with that type of capital that you have, with that type of what's the word I'm looking for? Budget. There we go. With that type of budget, you would know exactly how to live. You're not going to buy Jordans when you're living off of $1,000 a month budget or income because it just doesn't equate. You're not going to buy $200 shoes. That's your whole check. Oh damn, that's more than a quarter of your check right there.
Yeah, if you're a monthly, yeah, exactly.
So you want to actually live, in your means of where you are, and if you try to become higher, you need to understand what it takes to become that your higher self.
Exactly. The effort that it's going to take to
Yeah.
get there, you know?
I'm not going to sit on the couch and think this gut's going to go away out of nowhere. Like, no, I have to do something
Yeah.
to get into shape.
You just can't sit there and say, oh, I'm going to be slim by tomorrow morning. I'm going to be slim by tomorrow
Man,
morning.
You have to work out.
You have
and
to.
you have to eat better.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that you can do. I used to listen to, I still do listen to some on occasion, but the dude Myron Golden, I've mentioned several times here,
Mm-hmm.
he always says nothing gets better over time.
Oh, okay. Explain that.
Meaning, so with name anything without having some sort of energy going into it, without some sort of work that gets better over time.
What do you mean that requires like less energy over time?
With no energy, nothing touching it.
Oh, okay.
Gets better over time.
Oh, nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the whole.
Yeah.
Because you know the saying. There's a saying that people say that it's all gonna get better over time.
But
nothing gets better over time unless you're doing something.
Exactly. If you're not putting energy, effort, whatever to making it better, it's not gonna get better by its own.
Just like for an example, when you have wood, your fence out there in the elements, but you do nothing to do an upkeep of it. It starts to rot. It starts to expand and split and do all these things. It never gets better over time. It starts to die.
Yeah, it gets worse.
It gets worse. Metal starts to rust, corrode, and all that kind of stuff. Unless you're consistently polishing it, doing something to it to make it better. Everything in this world, on this planet, has to have another force behind it to make it succeed. There's just no other way you can do it.
Yeah, it's not just going to manifest. I keep saying that word, even though we talked about it. It's not just going to happen just for talking, like we said, trying to speak it into existence. It requires effort, So that's the difference between, being alive and just, getting by. And like I was saying, there's many different forces that go behind it, and unfortunately we live in the world where banks run the world basically, and fiat currencies and money that doesn't have any true value behind it, and it controls our lives, and we have to, and the system is set up. I mean, there's still opportunity, but the way that the system at its foundation is set up, it's set up for us to not be able to get ahead. And it takes a lot of effort, a lot of being conscious, a lot of energy, and a lot of work, and a lot of people don't want to make that effort.
Yeah, like you have to understand how the system works if you're going to want to be better. Like if it's set up against you, you're going to have, let's just say, like, the United States is your enemy, right? They set up this foundation to go against you. You have to understand what type of system they're using to be able to get out of it. Otherwise, you're just going to stay in it because you don't even understand the mechanism of what's happening around you. So you're going to have to read, you're going to have to read the laws of the land. You're going to have to read contractual laws. You're going to have to read so many different things that you'll understand how to utilize the system for what it is to better your standpoint. And all that takes work. It takes energy. It takes, you're going to have to do more. And people want to say, well, I just want to live a normal life. I mean, you can do that if you want to, but you also can't complain when other things happen. You just can't. You have to do something if you're wanting to get out of your your current situation.
Yeah, exactly. It takes effort.
It takes effort. That's the whole thing.
Bottom
it takes
line,
effort.
yeah.
Bottom line, everything takes effort, takes work. Everything.
Yeah.
And some people work themselves into the ground, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah, no. And if you are okay with just being alive, like, I hope you really are okay. You know what I mean? I want the best for everybody.
Exactly.
I want everybody to be happy and content. And if you really are okay with just going to your 9-to-5 job, coming home to your kids and your wife, and
by all means,
you watch the TV shows, do that, man. Like, be happy, be a good person. Obviously, don't harm anybody, But like my man's just said, don't complain if you're not happy with that life, and if you're not doing anything about it. Even if you are doing something about it, don't complain, because it doesn't do you any good.
It's a waste of energy.
Yeah.
It's a waste of energy to complain, because what is that going to change?
Nothing.
Complaining is not going to change your state. It's not going to do anything. It never has. It never will. Doing something about it is the thing. Action is the only thing that will ever change your standpoint. and you're going to have to try different things to get out of it. Don't try the exact same thing over and over again expecting a different result. That doesn't, if
Is
something
that insanity?
has been, exactly, that's insanity. So if something has been failing in your life for so long, you may want to change that particular input of your life. You want to change that particular thing you're doing and see if that will actually help you.
Exactly. Try different
try
things.
different
It's all trial and error. If this works, keep it. If it doesn't, scrap it. Try something new. That works, keep it. You know what I mean? Just a
Exactly.
cycle until you get to where you want to go. And hopefully you do find that peace and that contentment and that happiness. Because you also don't want to be the person, like you just said, that works himself into the ground, or the person that's never content, never is happy with what they have, and they just want to keep working and working to attain these things.
That goes back to what you said, I think, in the last episode. I think you said it. I think you said it in the last episode where we need to be at peace with our current situation first, and be humble in where we are before we can move outside of anything else.
Yes.
Like you said, I think it was a different episode.
Yeah,
But you said 70, like when you after making 70,000.
Yeah, after 70K.
Yeah, after 70K, it doesn't make you any more happy.
It doesn't make you any more happy.
And the main reason is because you haven't learned to perfect yourself. You haven't learned, like if you have a huge habit of spending, getting more money doesn't fix your spending habit.
It's going to make it worse.
Into it.
Yeah.
It just feeds into it.
And you got more money to spend.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So once you start to perfect yourself and become your higher self and understand that you need to be at peace and where you are, and you need to understand that you don't need materialistic things all the time. You may want those things, but you don't need them. There's
a big difference. A lot of people don't know that difference. I think I struggle with that sometimes too. Like I struggle sometimes, think, I need a bigger house. I need this and that. But I'm like, the house that I have right now has running water. The house that I have right now has electricity.
Has a roof over
It has
your
a
head.
roof. It keeps me dry, keeps me warm, keeps me cold, whatever I need. So it's like, do you really need the 6-bedroom, 5-bath house?
You don't.
You honestly don't at the end of the day.
And then, like, it's funny because me and my wife have said this before, where sometimes she feels like she wants to become a minimalist because we don't utilize most of our house. Like our kids be in our room most of the time, not even in their own damn room.
Right.
The baby's just a baby, so she don't even care what happens.
Yeah, she's just alive.
She's just alive. She just smiles, looks at us, and does whatever. And then our 2-year-old just runs around the house and plays with things that are not even her toys. Like, so
yeah.
What
Exactly.
Why are we getting all these things if they're not really meaning
You're not
anything?
using them.
They're not even using them. There's several things in there that I've never touched and I didn't even know. We just literally, the whole commandments that we read.
Oh, yeah, you just found out you had the 10 Commandments on his fridge.
I had no idea there was a magnet on my fridge that had the 10 Commandments on it. And it's been there for the whole, for years. Because this is not, the refrigerator that's out there was at my wife's grandmother's house.
Yeah, so it's been there for
I've
years.
seen the fridge
right.
outside of this, and we've been together for 10 years, over 10 years.
Yeah,
and I've seen that fridge for over 10 years. Never knew that was there.
Yep.
Now he had to randomly say, "Hey, that's
the 10 Commandments
right there."
Yeah.
Oh, damn! Oh. I need to be more observant of my own house.
Right? Yeah. So point being, like, do you really need all the materialistic things? If you're not content and happy with the little things that you have now, it's going to be even worse when you have more things, because you're going to look at these things and be like, I have a lot and I'm still not happy.
Exactly. Because things don't actually equate to happiness. Like, people can be happy in a 1-bedroom apartment and having nothing, if they understand that this is all they need to be alive and healthy and all that kind of stuff. Like, what else do you need outside of that? There's families that have 10 people in their family that are happy, that live in a 2-bedroom apartment.
I've seen it with my own eyes. It's
I
real.
have too. So if they're capable of being, you can see it on their face that they're happy because they have each other, they have a roof over their head, they have all these things. Money does not matter to them at that point. They don't need this big ass house or anything like that. They care more about their loved ones,
Exactly.
the things that they do have. They focus on what is the word I'm looking for that you always say? The gratitude of what they have right then and there. And then they understand, oh man, I have great health. I woke up this morning. I have things for granted that I have where I'm able to use my hands. I can see.
Like Sasha Ariz said on the last episode, like her mom told her, she said, you got your 2 feet, you got your 2 hands.
Exactly.
Like, what more do you want?
Exactly. It's like, what else do you deserve outside of that? So you already are allowed. Now, if you want more, that's fine, but you have to be at peace with what you have so it doesn't make it worse in the future when you do have more.
Exactly.
Because not being rich is not for everybody. It's just not. Not everybody's going to have millions
and doesn't
of
mean
dollars.
it's going to make you happy.
Exactly. Some people, it will make them happy because of something that they're trying to accomplish and give back to. Like, I believe businesses should only be there to give back to the community. So if you're trying to become wealthy and everything because you want to be able to give something back, I believe that's a true business. Like me, I'm not, if I ever become wealthy, I'm not going to buy this ridiculously $10 million house where I have all this stuff around
or
it.
multiple houses
that
you don't even live in.
That I don't even need. And if I do have multiple houses, I'm more than likely doing it so I can give other people a house. Or other people a living situation that they didn't have
cheap
before.
rent or whatever.
Cheaper rent, whatever the case may be. I'm giving it to somebody else because I'm not going to use it. When am I going to use that stuff? I don't even have the time to use all the things that I have in my.
Dude, like you just said, like
I barely have the
in
time
your own house.
This house is not that damn big.
No,
it's big to certain people.
Yeah, it's a nice house, but it's not like something huge.
It's not a mansion.
Yeah,
and I still utilize a quarter of the damn of the house. So, and I'm happy. I'm chilling. I have I'm healthy. I'm getting back more into health. I'm trying to help my wife get back into health. I have my wife. I have my 2 kids. I have my father still here. I have a lot of things here on this earth that make me happy other than the materialistic things that I have. The fact that I can even have this microphone and talk to you guys on this podcast.
Exactly. Be able to afford to buy it, to be able to afford the,
like,
you know.
Yeah. Like, but even if I didn't have this house, even if I was in an apartment, 1-bedroom apartment, as long as I have my wife and my kids and this microphone, it doesn't even matter where I film this at. I can film this anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I can film this outside if I wanted to.
Yep.
And as long as he's in good health, he's going to be rocking with me. And if we had to do that, we're going to do it.
Exactly.
That's being that true peace with your current living situation.
Exactly. So we hope that, you know, you're striving for that kind of lifestyle where you find peace and happiness. And, of course, do things that you enjoy, whatever activities you may enjoy or whatever, you know, but knowing that it comes with effort. But with that effort, finding peace in the process, you know.
Oh, and that's the other, we forgot to touch a little bit on the secondary definition of living, which I was going to touch on. Yeah. Which is fairly simple. Being able to do something you love and making money doing that. So if you were for the phrase is, I was able to make a living off of music, meaning I was able to do music and create the income to be able to live off of that. If that's the way you want to define living, which is an actual definition, and that's another way of saying, that's a difference between living and being alive. Alive is literally, like we said, we're breathing, we're alive, our heart is pumping, we're alive. But living is doing something of a goal or being able to earn something from what you're doing. So those are the two. That's the main difference.
Yep, and that's it for me. Anything else you want to add?
I got absolutely nothing. I mean, we could be here for hours talking about random things.
Exactly, but we want to stay on topic and shut it down early before we start getting into the
we're gonna ramble on and tangent.
That's it. But yeah, tell us what you think, guys. What is the difference between living and being alive? And are you actually living, or are you just alive? I hope you're living.
Me too. I hope you're living. I hope you're doing what you love. And if you're not doing what you love, start doing what you love, and don't settle for things just because you think you have to. You don't have to. Everything is a decision.
That's it, guys. So drop your comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Show some love to the OMG brand. We'll be back next week. Until then, we're out.
Deuces.
Oh. keep going cause the party don't stop. We turn up, doing our thing, just living our lives, and we don't stop. Open my group so you know we won't flop. We on top, come to the party you don't wanna.
Saca. Julie. Dímelo, yeah, yeah. Ey. Que yo estaba despistado, te quedaste callado, te pasé por un lado y pelado, estabas equivocado. Esto apenas comienza, salí brincando en área, mira indiscreta, una bichota donde llegó no se ofenda. Tengo la clave de los Brian, mamá completa, y su meta, que yo estaba despistado, te quedaste callado, te pasé por un lado, estabas equivocado. No me ronques lo que digas, compromete. No hablamos de carro ni de billetes, inversiones privadas, los jetes, que por las olas se muevan los culos y los fletes. Mamá huevos de los míos, nunca fuiste, no inventes. Se queda un poco la chamita, humilde, no habla mucho y lo reventó. La muñequita es el calibre y el viaje todito corrió. La calle encendió, repetición, la vieja utilizó. Pa' la vieja un orgullo como yo no hay dos. No, no, que está despistado, te quedaste callado, te pasé por un lado, estabas equivocado, yeah. Esto apenas comienza, salí brincando de área, mira indiscreta, una bichota donde llegó no se ofenda. Tengo la clave de los Brian, mamá completa, y su meta, que está despistado, te quedaste callado, te pasé por un lado, estabas equivocado. Deja andar en bus en Maracay, están en ley con una ranch, chingando personas que ustedes nunca estarán. ¿Qué importa el que dirán? Les tengo noticias, ahora me esperan por Friends Beach, tengo la tiza. Sé que a veces se me va la mano, pero no es mi culpa, tengo calidad. La gente dice que soy rara, pero a todos les gusta mi autenticidad. Para el todo flow tengo habilidad, 2018 no seré papá. Tengo los Nike, tengo por frontear, en el estudio soy yo man. Que está despistado, te quedaste callado, te pasé por un lado.